Welcome to a new season of Wide Open Spaces with Ilise Cracked Open, where we're going to get raw, edgy, and a little bit on the wild side. You can follow me anywhere you love listening to your favorite podcasts. Go to any social media of mine, like, love, follow, and comment. So now let's get freaking real with me, the Fiery Redhead. Well, it's been a hot minute since you've heard from me, and there's a lot of reasons for that. And I'm going to get into that. And why did I cut short season 6 so quickly and start off with season 7 and added Cracked Open to the end of my title? Well, I've been cracked open. And if you're wondering what that means, I didn't really know what it meant either until a lot of life happened to me. Now, as a therapist, we're not perfect. We don't handle things always the right way or the best way because we're human just like you. And I think the best therapists are the ones who can connect with you at the human level. And that's what I do here at Wide Open Spaces with Ilise. Cracked open. It's been about 2 months and a lot of shit has happened. And I just didn't have it in me to come and record a podcast. I felt guilty that I was letting my listeners down. I had people reach out to me who look for my drop every week. What's going on? And then I came to a conversation with myself and said, it's okay. It's okay to not be okay and to not feel up to doing this podcast, connecting with other people. I wasn't in the headspace to connect. Have you ever been there where you just didn't feel like you could connect with people? And so that's where I was. And I'm no longer the person that I was in season 6, my last episode, 192. That fiery redhead no longer exists. And so I had to come to an aha moment with myself. What do I do with my podcast? Do I just stop it? Because that person really doesn't exist anymore? Or do I start anew with a different perspective, a different light, a different sadness, a different anger, a different frustration, a different smile? Things that make me happy are different today than they were in my previous season. And so it's not about me coming to you anymore as someone who worked in mental health facilities, who did therapy groups over and over again with clients. We're going to talk to each other and to my guests. I have my first guest lined up, which will be in my next episode. And we're going to take a different approach because let's get real. We all fucking struggle. We have happy, wonderful times that make us struggle. And deep, dark times that make us struggle. And that's being cracked open. Just like an egg that you crack open down the center. It's not a straight line. It's jagged. It may not crack open evenly. And when you open it, there's this raw yolk, egg. And that's what it's like to be cracked open. Raw, vulnerable. And so happy moments and sad moments can make us feel cracked open. And when I came to terms and understanding that I was cracked open, the old Lise didn't exist anymore. The fire and the fiery redhead had changed because I had been cracked open. Now, a lot of times when we're cracked open, we get stuck. We just get stuck. That egg goes into the frying pan and it gets stuck because there wasn't enough there to keep it moving, to keep it from sticking. So when it gets stuck, you can't move. You feel like you're in pieces as you pull yourself up or apart. And so I've been cracked open. And I want to share people's stories with you of how they've been cracked open in life, the highs and the lows. Well, to start this season off, I'm going to give you what cracked me open. I've always found myself, as I've evolved, to be a very strong person. I've been able to compartmentalize things when things are chaotic, when happy things are happening in my life, big events, weddings, whatever it may be, birthdays, anniversaries, and even in tragedy and sadness. I've always been able to compartmentalize and move forward. And yet, this time in my life, I got stuck. Can you relate to that feeling of getting stuck? That's where I've been, stuck. And believe it or not, this podcast is part of me getting unstuck today. I had no plans to record it. It was just that moment where I said to myself, it's time. So let me share with you. Unfortunately, me being cracked open wasn't because of a wonderful wedding or a wonderful birthday or a wonderful trip or a thing that just changed my outlook on life. I've had many of those. But this cracked open moment came from grief, despair, fear of the unknown. So let me tell you my story. Some things are directly connected to me, really deep and personal, and some things are connected to the people I love and care about. And so I'm going to give you the whole picture because I feel that when we've experienced this type of unrest in our lives, we feel alone and like nobody else could understand because it's just so much and it doesn't stop. And when you get through one thing, something else happens, and then something else happens, and you sit there in shock, not knowing how to process, almost feeling like, is this really happening? Can I get back to my old life right now? And so I'm going to share my story with you and why this podcast is taking on a new look, a new meaning, a new style. And while each guest will have their great stories that have cracked them open, the stories that will make you smile and laugh, and the stories that you may relate to that make you feel sad. So my story. I have this great group of girlfriends. We call ourselves Sisters Forever. And we're very close. We're all very different and unique. And sometimes we get along and sometimes we fight, just like family does. Well, one of our own, unexpectedly, almost a year ago in September, lost her husband unexpectedly. And when I tell you early 50s, so young, it was a shock to all of us. And we all stepped into gear and we supported our friend in her grief, in her family's grief, in whatever way we could help. The ripples were all of us just not being able to comprehend what happened and how we saw the life of one of our sisters change. And then in January of this year, 2025, one of my best friends passed away from breast cancer. This just rocked my world. We were all a part of her treatment and going through it, and it had been so many years, and we thought that she had come out on the other side till it came back. And when she passed away, it did something to me to watch her girls not have their mom anymore, her husband not have his wife, and us not to have our sister, a mother not to have her daughter, a father, siblings not to have their sister. It really just rocked me at my core. And the sadness was deep. But I moved on with my days. There were many a days where I sat and had good cries because the life, the energy that she had was so young. Again, early 50s. That just ended so abruptly. And I cried for everything she'll miss. And everything, I hear her voice. And so I was dealing with that in January, and February, and March, April. And then at the end of May, one of the hardest things that's ever happened to me in my life. My mom passed away unexpectedly. Well, honestly, this cracked me open deep. And I'm still struggling with it to this day. The tears are constantly behind my eyes. My mom lived with me. She's everywhere. And it's just one day and 1 minute at a time. Trying to find the proper coping skills, the healthy coping skills. And so the grief for my friend got tabled because now I was dealing with the grief of the loss of my mom, the person who gave birth to me, the person who, no matter what was going on in my life, was my biggest cheerleader. And when anything was happening to me, good or bad, I could go to her and get her opinion. And I didn't most of the time agree with her opinion. We were very different, but she was there for me to go to. And the words of wisdom were there for me. And so I grieved, and I grieved, and I still grieve. But then something else happened. My husband became very ill, and I won't share the details because that's his personal story, but he became very ill. So here I am in the middle of trying to grieve the loss of my mom, trying to do everything I know as a therapist that I should be doing to cope with this grief. And now I'm scared what's going to happen to my husband. And for a week we were in the hospital, and I stayed with him. And I just had to say to myself, this is not about you. This is about him. And so in my quiet, private moments, if I took a quick car ride or went into the bathroom or went downstairs, I would have a cry. Because I couldn't go to my mom now. I didn't have that support. I felt lonely and isolated, but yet I didn't want my friends coming because then I'd break down. And I needed to be strong for my husband. And so it wasn't about me. And so he's home. He has a long recovery, and our lives have changed drastically. My world looks very different. And so now he's home, and we deal with his daily treatments and things he has to do. And then the grief starts to come back because now things are easing up. and the grief from my mom and the PTSD of it all starts coming to the surface again. And I feel like Ilise doesn't exist. That person that you heard back in episode 192 is not her sitting here right now. Have you ever felt that? Something so major. It could be getting married to someone, finally moving in and combining your lives and your finances and your different tastes and your different likes. Not easy, right? It's not. It cracks you open. You become raw and you have to figure out how to meld your lives together, productive in a healthy manner. So you feel cracked open and you will have different emotions, happy emotions, frustrated emotions, angry with your significant other, sad moments, questioning, did I do the right thing? Because it becomes an adjustment when you're cracked open. And so I was majorly cracked open. And so I have to take a different approach with this podcast as well as my life. And I have a heavy heart because, again, I have to focus on my husband's needs. He comes first right now. But I still have to take care of me. So how do I do that? How do you do it when you're in this place? Whether it's something wonderful, you had a new baby, your first baby. You moms out there know what I'm talking about when you have that first child and now you feel like you don't exist. It's all about the baby. Forget about you healing from your cesarean section. Forget about if you're nursing and how the discomfort. Oh, that doesn't matter. What matters is this newborn infant. And so you're cracked open. And the person you were before that baby was born no longer exists because you're evolving into something different. Your look on life is different. Your world looks different. And guess what? This is life. What I've gone through is a fucking hamster wheel that I feel like I can't get off of. But I tell myself, this is life. And there are times where things just go smoothly and easy in life. And there are times where it just honestly sucks. That's where I am. My life is painful. My life is difficult. My life is not going smoothly. And I feel like, what's the next thing that's going to happen? But I'm trying to look into the future. And I'm trying to take this big crack, this raw insides of me that are just open, and try to create something new and beautiful out of it. And I think that no matter what we go through in life, we can find something, a message, a lesson, a new love, a new interest, a new aspect or approach that you want to take on life. And for me, it's going to be putting up with no bullshit. I don't have the time for it. I speak out loud more now. When I get frustrated, I'll say, oh my God, I don't have fucking 5 minutes to myself. But I'm letting the frustration out by saying it. Or walking out of a room when I'm feeling frustrated or sad when I feel the tears are coming. I don't want to hold the tears back. I want to let them go. And so I'm cracked open. And so that's what this episode is going to be about. My next episode will have a guest. I'm excited about them coming onto this podcast and telling their story of when they were cracked open and where they are now. And I hope that these stories will give you inspiration, that you can connect And maybe it'll help you make decisions in your own life, or give you insight, or give you skills. If you've been listening to me for a long time, you know that music is everything to me. Everything. It's really my therapy. It's my go-to. And it was quite ironic that in the midst of grieving my friend's husband, one of my best friends, my mother, my husband being in the hospital, a song comes out, a brand new song comes out by an artist named Ilise Capaldi. Now, if you know anything about Ilise Capaldi's story, you'll understand this. If you don't, I want you to look it up after this. Ilise Capaldi is a young, very professional and well-known musician. And his very last concert, he had to walk off the stage and he couldn't finish. And Ilise's story, and there's a documentary too, and I'm not sure whether it's on Hulu or Netflix or one of those streaming services about this. His anxiety created tics, and he had all these things, extremely depressed, and he just couldn't do the music anymore. Well, almost 2 years later, Ilise Capaldi is back. And Ilise did a lot of work. Ilise was cracked open. And he had to deal with all that raw physical things that were going on with him, emotional things, looking at his life and himself. He was cracked open. And so he releases this song that has become my song that I listen to every day. Some days I belt it out because it gives me strength and power. And some days I cry through every word of it, because each day it means something different to me. Now, music might not be your thing. And as you follow me through this next season 7, I want you to begin to look at what are your things, your go-tos when you feel cracked open. For me, again, it's music. And I want to share this song with you. Obviously, I can't play the song, but I can read you the lyrics of the song. And once I read it, you'll understand. Maybe you've heard it before if you're a Ilise Capaldi fan. But if not, I encourage you, after we're done, go to your favorite music streaming and listen to Ilise Capaldi's newest song. The title of it is Survive. How long till it feels like the wound's finally starting to heal? How long till it feels like then I'm more than a spoke in a wheel? Most nights I fear that I'm not enough. I've had my share of Monday mornings when I can't get up. But when hope is lost and I come undone, I swear to God I'll survive. If it kills me too, I'm gonna get up and try, if it's the last thing I do. I still got something to give, though it hurts sometimes. I'm gonna get up and live until the day that I die. I swear to God I'll survive. How long till you know that in truth you know nothing at all? How far will you go to get back to that place you belong? Most nights I fear that I'm not enough, but I refuse to spend my best years rotting in the sun. So when hope is lost and I come undone, I swear to God I'll survive, if it kills me too. I'm gonna get up and try, if it's the last thing I do. I still got something to give, though it hurts sometimes. I'm gonna get up and live until the day that I die. I swear to God I'll survive. I swear to God I'll survive. I swear to God I'll survive if it kills me too. I'm gonna get up and try, if it's the last thing I do. I still got something to give, though it hurts sometimes. I'm gonna get up and live until the day that I die. I swear to God, I'll survive. And this is the song that I listen to every day. Now, what I'd like you to do until my next podcast is released is to find that song that represents you right now in your life. You don't have to be cracked open right now. It's just your life and you're living it. And what song really represents where you are in your life? The different themes in the song are survival, getting up and trying even when things really suck or they're hard, swearing to something that means something to you. In this song, he swears to God, but swearing maybe on things that are important to you, swearing on the fact that you want to be better for your family or better in a relationship or better in your job. And he leaves you with this optimistic feeling that no matter what, good or bad, you're going to get up and try. You're not going to let it knock you down and keep you down. You may be knocked down, but you won't let it keep you down. There's resilience and determination in this song. It's struggles, it's sadness, there's hopelessness and helplessness. But through that all, it gives you the message that you're going to survive until the end. This song came into my life at the right moment, at the right time, for this fucking fiery redhead who needed this song. It touches me deep. And on those days where I feel like shit and I'm sad and I'm frustrated and I just want my life to be the way it used to, with all these people in it, with my husband well, this song helps me know that there's a future, that I will be able to move on and put these feelings in a place that they need to be, cope with them, understand the loss and the grief and the frustration. And I know there will be a time where I will look back on this time and go, fuck, that was a lot. But I got through on the other side. I survived. So I'm going to leave you there. And I hope that I'm making you yearn and crave my new episodes with my guests. It's not going to be so much about my story. It's going to be about their stories. The stories that I know you'll connect with, that I know will help you through happy and tough times. And that will show you there is life after tragedy. There's life after good things that happen to us. Life just looks different. And how do we evolve with it? How do we move with it? How do we cope with it? So that we live the happiest, most productive, healthiest lives that we can. So until then, I'm excited about season 7. I hope you'll join me. And my guests are excited to talk to you. So like Lewis said, I swear I'll survive. Please go to my social media, like, love, and follow. Listen to this podcast wherever you love listening to your podcast. If you're cracked open, you're in the right place. And I look forward to you listening and your comments in the episodes to follow. So until next time, my friends, I give you a ciao and a thank you.